So when I go into the street here in Florida, if people need money, I give them money. Why? Because I'm not interested in what they're going to do with the money. I'm interested in the blessing they give me. So when I give them money and they say, God bless you, I always say, thank you for the blessing. So there are many things that are genuine and many things that are not genuine. I'll give you some examples. I have a lot of godchildren. A lot of them we speak on a regular basis. A lot of us we don't. But it's not because I don't love them. It's not because I love them less. It's not because this or that. I have godchildren that live in China. I have godchildren. Most of my godchildren that live in New Jersey. I have godchildren in New York, in Cuba. I mean, I have godchildren spread out. But at the end of the day, do I need to talk to you every 5 minutes? No. A good percentage, I would say 80% of godchildren call me when they're in need. When they're not in need, they don't call me. And that's okay too. At one point, that used to bother me. Now I take ownership of my own emotions, just like they have to take ownership of theirs. Why? Because they're crowned, but they also have what we call the ita, their life reading. And everyone is responsible to read their book, and everyone is responsible to read their life reading, and everyone is responsible to make heads or tails of what they're doing. My godchildren from New Jersey, from New York, even the ones from Cuba, I have taught them how to speak to the Orishas and how to speak to their ancestors through divination. If they don't do it, it's because they choose not to. If they get other people to do it for them, to me, that just shows that you don't have that trust with your own spirit guides to be able to communicate, because you need to know. Why? Because there are spirits that can cling on to you, that can make it seem as they are spirits of light, and they are not. So you have to be very cautious about that. You have to know where the message is coming from. And then you also have to think about, how do you think inside as a human being? What are my thoughts on spirituality? Or what are my thoughts on what this spirit is telling me what to do? If a spirit is telling you, light a black candle to bring this person to their knees, and that is not the way you are, then that spirit is not of light. So you have to test the spirit by the spirit. In other words, you have to put the spirit through a test, because you can, and it is not sinful, and it is not evil, and it's not, people, there are people out there who are very spiritual, that are very gifted, but they're very much fanatics. I'm not a fanatic. I walk on the fence between the light and the dark, and I am a medium. I was born a child of spirit, not a child of human. So because I was born a child of spirit, I know the difference between people who walk in light and people who don't walk in light, and I can see better than most. Now, what I can tell you is there are a lot of people that will try to test you. You people that pay for money to get read, there are people who will test you. And then a lot of you people out there that have godparents that you don't trust, they will also test you. Why? Why not? I know people come to me and they're very spiritual, and they think that I'm not aware that they are. And I sit down and I read them. And then when they leave, right before they leave, I sit them down and I said, the next time you want to come to my house and you want to test me, don't do it secretly. Just tell me that you want to test me. Because nothing pisses me off more when people believe that they know more than everybody. There's nobody out there that knows more than everybody. It's a learning experience every day. I was reading something that a gentleman was talking about a guardian at the door, and then automatically his response to me personally, his response sounded to me very precocious. So at the end of the day, there is no right way and there is no wrong way when you're dealing with spirit. There are people whose spirit will say, take this mustard and make a bath with mustard water and you will be healed. And there'll be somebody else that say, well, no, you can't take a bath with mustard now. My first book was called The Kitchen Helper. What do I mean by that? That you can take whatever is in the kitchen cabinet and make a bath out of it. Why? Do you want money? Boil some bay leaves or laurel leaves, whichever one, and just let it soak. Add some honey, some brown sugar, some white sugar, and boil the sugar and the bay leaf. Let it sit, let it cool. Add a little bit of cologne and take a bath. Take a bath for 3 days straight. It will open you up. It will sweeten you up. You want to break something negative? Take a bath with beer and parsley and add Florida water to it. Do not add Florida water to sweet baths. Only for baths that are for breaking. Use colognes for sweet baths or use sugar. You want to refresh yourself and have a clear mind? Take a bath with rosemary water. Take a bath with basil water. Take a bath with sage water. Take a bath with parsley water. Take a bath with what do you call that? Thyme water. You don't have to add cologne. You don't have to add anything. Just the water itself. If you want to take a bath, another bath to make money, there are many. Beer and honey. Wine and honey. Rum, cologne, and honey. Why? The rum, the wine is for egung, it's for the dead, and the rest is to sweeten you up. Now people can say, no, that's not true. I make coffee baths. Coffee baths have always been my best seller. Coffee baths. Why? Because Indian spirits used coffee to scrub their bodies and to use the coffee water to clean themselves. Even tobacco. Tobacco is you light it and it's a cleansing. You put it over, you cleanse yourself. But you can also crush it up and put it in water and add Florida water after it cools. And yes, it's strong, but it'll also remove. You make sure that whatever you use to take a bath that day, you save it, and then you have 2 more days so that you can be able to take baths. Now, those are easy solutions for me. I have had many godchildren that have gone to other houses. I'm not even, you know what? A lot of you that really know me know the houses, and some of you don't know, and I'm not about to give that person power because I gave the energy of that bad situation much power for a long time, and it almost did me in. No one has the right to have that much power over me. So the person will remain like he is in my head, which is dead. Now, again, I've had godchildren that were in my house for 10 years, 11 years, and all of a sudden they go because they hear a story and they go somewhere else, and then that person is like, you need to get crowned today. But meanwhile, while they were in my house, they never had to get crowned, and they believe the lie so much that they panic and they believe that it's a life and death situation, and they go and they get crowned. And meanwhile, they're being charged $10,000, $15,000 to take them to Cuba and crown them in Cuba. And then to what? To ignore them, to dump them. Many people have had madrinas and padrinos that have put beads on them and warriors and have just left them. Why? Because it's about numbers. It's about money. It's not about anything else. I've crowned a lot of people. I've given a lot of olokuns. For people who don't know, those are deities. I've given a lot of abejis. I've given a lot of warriors and beads and stuff. And at the end of the day, I don't force anyone to be in my house or on my side, because at the end of the day, they are adults. We're going to go to commercial. And when we come back, I will finish this. Are we on commercial yet?
Hold on. We got cut off in mid of
Sorry.
the show. And you like, okay, commercial. We've been off for a little bit.
Okay. Sorry.
Your energy, not mine.
Okay.
One more.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, welcome back. Again, I am your host, Ori, and I want to go back to what we're talking about. Now, I want you to understand one thing. What I'm saying about people leaving my home and getting crowned somewhere else, I don't mean it in a form where I'm devastated. No, I get disappointed because the person doesn't offend me. They offend my guardian angel. So the minute you offend my dad, you offend me. And that is the only thing. I believe if a person is going to leave your house, they should leave the way they came in, with truth and honesty. Have people come back? People have come back. Do I, unless I crown them, they come back, and they may have been thrown out of their houses for whatever reason. I don't ask, I don't care. But a yabo should never be left unattended. And I believe that every soul on this planet needs some type of guidance. I'm not Jesus. I'm not God. I'm not trying to be. Do I believe that I'm a God within myself? Of course I do. Any person that really, really knows scriptures should feel like they're a God within themselves. It's plainly said even in the Bible, and that's not blasphemy. Now, you people that are young people who go to people that get read, not everything is as it seems. Sometimes you may go and you may talk to them. They may be a family member, they may be a friend, and you tell them all your business. So when you get read, they're telling you about your personal business, and you're like, oh my God, they knew. No, they didn't know. You told them. Don't be fooled. Don't fake the funk. Always be aware. Use your mind before you open your mouth. Because a true reader would never. I ask. Let me rephrase that. I'll ask. Usually in a reading, I'll ask you a question, and usually it has to do with the dead. It usually has to do with maybe something that I see that may look like a mother, or may look like a grandmother figure, or it may be a grandmother who says she's your mother, and then it's like a confusion. So I'll ask, only not to just say things and throw it out there. I don't do that. If someone is ill in your family and they're about to die, I will ask you if you have a person in your family, and I will describe them, that is ill. And all I say to them is, I never say they're going to die. What I say is, you should visit them. You should go to church. You should pray for them. You should light a candle for them. Keep them in your prayers. That is all I say. There's no reason for you to disturb people's peace of mind. People come to see you. They're kind of screwed up to begin with when it comes to people dying. Now, people. I must emphasize this very, 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 very much. For you people who are out there that are readers, for you people who are out there that are santeros, that divine with shells, or that divine with, we are human. We have spirits that live within us that are spirits of confusion. Understand that. Not every spirit we have is pure. A lot of dark spirits are in our quadrant that actually stand behind us. It's like you say, Satan, get behind me. At the end of the day, you're telling a demon, stand behind me. Walk behind me. That's fine. But there are things that we do that the churches don't do. There are things that we do that the Catholic Church cannot do. So we are given a gift. God gives 7 gifts. Some of us have 3, some of us have 4, some of us have 5, some of us have none. Some of us have the ability to prophesize using a Bible, which I do. It's called bibliomancy, where you can read and tell the person to put their hand on the Bible, and you can open the Bible up, and wherever it is you read, and the Bible will transfer to you the energy so that you can tell them what it is that it means. And bibliomancy, anyone who's a true reader can do it. There are people who read clave and who write clave, which I do too. It's the first form of reading that I did, which is with pencil on a piece of paper. We draw figures, we draw circles, we draw whatever. That's called clave. There are people who read water. I do that too. There are people who read coffee. I do that too. There are people who read tea leaves. I do that too. There are people who can read palm. I do that too. There are people that can read. You throw a rock in the water in the river and you can read the lines. I do that too. How do I do that? I don't know. I have no idea how a lot of these ways that I divine are possible. I know that through spirit I've learned. I've never picked up a pack of cards, whether they be tarot or anything else. I've never picked up a box of tarot and said, I'm going to read this little booklet to find out what they say, that it's the higher arcana, the lower arcana, or whatever it is. I don't care. I'm not going to read the way you read. I read the way I read. Now, giving people information, like I said earlier, don't ever, and I don't care who you are, I don't care how educated you are, I don't care how spiritual you are, don't ever think that you can walk up to people and give them information and they're going to receive it the right way. We're living in 2021 where people are connecting to their spiritual self and they need guidance, and they're learning on their own how to connect with their spirit guide. Who are you to force yourself in giving someone advice when they don't need the advice? Who are you? You need to ask permission. Just like when I walk into a room and I know how spirit is, and spirit will talk to me about everybody in the room, I tell spirit before I walk in, I choose not to participate in what is going on here. And if it's going to affect me, let me know now, because I will really turn around and walk away. It's the same way like when I take a flight. If I'm going to fly somewhere and I don't hear that voice that says you will be fine, I will not go on the trip. I will lose my money, but I will not go on that trip. Why? Because my faith in spirit is so big, and my faith in God, because I walk by faith and only faith and not by sight. My orishas are there, my deities. I'm very loyal to all my spiritual connection. Rather, whether it be the African connection or the Indian connection, or whether the Spaniard connection, or whether the Asian connection, or whether the connection of Arabs and madams and gypsies, whomever. I'm also a big follower of Buddha's teachings. I'm also a worshiper of Ma Kali. And yes, I chant, and I know the chants, and I know the chants to all the deities. So I'm not doing something for myself that wasn't an awakening. It was only when I got initiated and this deity called the Watala said, you practice a religion that is not of your own, and you must continue to practice your ways. Okay, I could deal with that. Have I always been obedient? No, I'm not going to say that I am. I'm not. It took me 7 years because I did not want to be initiated. It took me 7 years to actually accept. Now, I got initiated a couple of years before I did Santo. Before I went initiated, I was baptized in the 21 division. So those mysteries of voodoo and, the voodoos and mysteries, I acquired that too. But again, I was born on the side of the dead and not the side of the living. So therefore, I pay homage to them. I must say that I have always believed in God. Everyone that knows me knows that I keep saying this. I believe in God wholeheartedly. I'm not a Jesus person because I really don't understand a lot of things in there. And at the end of the day, I read the Quran, and the Quran said he was a prophet. He's not God. So people look at him as he is God, he is Father. No, God is God. Jesus was Jesus, and the Holy Spirit was the Holy Spirit. So at the end of the day, that is my personal belief. I don't want you to think that I'm pushing this on you and I want you to believe the way I do. That's not what I'm doing. I just want you to understand where I come from so that you can get a better understanding. I don't want you to do what I do. I tell my godchildren and people that I know, I want you to do what I say, not what I do. Because you don't have to be like me. And that's a big mistake too. A lot of godchildren are very difficult because they want to be like the godparent. But I find that it is only when the godparent is not willing to teach them that they become that way. Now, what I was saying earlier, to be jerked around and to be lied to, and you're being 26, 27, 28, and then all of a sudden someone crowns you and they're like, oh, whether he's disobedient. Well, did you ever stop to think that maybe you're dealing with adults and not children? And because you are dealing with adults, you cannot play with them and you cannot play games with them, because sooner or later the truth does come out. The truth always comes out in the wash. So for those people who have spent their time utilizing people, okay, and has spent their time using people for money, for what they can get out of them, because a godparent that is a good godparent should never have to ask for anything. When my godmother was alive, may she rest in peace forever, she was the best godmother that I ever had. I never abandoned her. I've never said anything negative about her. I never talked crap about her. I defended her every which way I can. Every single trip that I made to Crown, I took her with me, even if she wasn't the Jubona. My responsibility, I felt, was to take my godmother and be with her everywhere. And I was there for her until the day she died. Was my twin? Nope. But yet people defended him, and that's fine, because there's fools born every single day. And there are idiots that are born every second. So if you want to walk around thinking that you know best, but yet you have a godparent, it's not shame on them, it's shame on you. Shame on you because you don't have the ability to understand that having a godparent is about being loyal, about listening to advice and applying it. I tell my godchildren when they're wrong, I let them know. I don't say, you did this and it was wrong. Nope, I don't do that. I try to tell you things for your own benefit. I try to explain to you the rules and regulations because you know what? Some godparents forget, but some godchildren also forget, or should I say, they get amnesia and they don't remember because they don't want to. They don't want to remember your birthday. They don't want to remember this day. They don't want to remember that day. I can honestly tell you, and it is no lie, I only know one of my godchild's birthday. One. And it was really sad because this year I even missed the mark, which is January 17, and he's a child of about double Obatala. So that's the only birthday that it was stuck in my head. And my godmother's birthday, which is March 30th. And I don't quite remember her santo birthday. But again, it's not so much as being right or being wrong. It's about communication. You have a godparent. Communicate with your godparent. My godmother was not a reader, but my godmother always knew that I was, and my godmother trusted me. And when she asked me something, she knew that spirit will always talk to her. My godmother never took spiritual baths from anybody's hands except mine. So at the end of the day, my godmother, I was like always watching over her. And she was always there. She was my rock. And it wasn't easy. You know, my life has never been easy since the day I was born. It's never been easy. But when my godmother died, I realized that I needed to take ownership for everything in my life, good, bad, or indifferent. And I did that. So I'm asking you guys, and I'm imploring you guys, if you have a reader that reads for you and they're good and they help you, don't jump. Don't jump. Stay with one person because you don't know the baggage that person is reading you is carrying. And that baggage can jump onto you. And then you're stuck taking home something that was not yours to begin with. And then if you have children or you have older people, you can pollute them with that energy. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you're walking the straight line, the straight and narrow. You want to make sure that you're walking by faith. And if you feel something that's internal and it's spirit trying to talk to you. Hello, Colaris. Thank you for joining us today. Niete, much love always. If you feel, because most of us, our intuition are growing. Most of you guys out there that are not initiated in anything, you guys have amazing intuition. Like for instance, Kathy, she sews. What gives her intuition? God. The voice that's inside of her, that guides her, that controls her eyes to be able to cut pattern, to be able to sew beautiful things. That is her mission. Her mission is to make beautiful things and make people feel beautiful by dressing them. So everybody is here with a gift. Understand that there are a lot of people out there that will take your money. There are a lot of people out there that will judge other people and they say, well, I charge $21 to read. Okay, $21 to read. That's good. But then if you need a head rogation, it's going to cost you $124 to get a head rogation. And then it'll cost you another $100 and something to get something done. Everybody that knows me knows what I charge to get read. I don't lower my prices, even if I live in Florida. I don't lower my prices. I've always been a good reader. I'm not going to say I'm a great reader. There are greater readers than I. But among the great, I'm in that line. So I'm a good reader. And the one thing that I do is I don't just read you. I will provide you at that moment with information of what you need to do. And I always tell Spirit, give me the easiest solution so they don't have to go crazy because they're not spiritual enough to go to botanicas and know what the hell to do. Give me something that they can do with things they have in their house or in the backyard. And that is what a good medium does. A good medium you don't always have to have a mass, or at least a mass with 10 people. No, you don't need to do that. A mass can be done. One person sitting in front of you. Not on the table. They can set up the bóveda and the table and not sit at the table. Just sit face to face. Some people will say, oh, that's not true. Yes, it is. Come on. Just be honest. Yes, it is. You can work a table with 2 people. You don't have to have 4 to square off the table. But yet people will tell you, no, it has to be 4. No, that's not true. You can have a mass with 2 people. One sitting on one side of the table, one sitting on the other side of the table, and have the bóveda up. Now, for people who don't understand when they say white table, a white table to me, the way I was brought up, is white flowers, the big copa, a crucifix, prayer books, candles. And my family, they didn't have white table with cigars and rum. That did not exist. Coffee, yes. Tobacco and rum, no. White table, white flowers, white cloth, crucifix, water, white candles, handkerchiefs that you clean yourself with. Could be colorful, it could be white, it could be whatever. And herbs that they put on the floor and the water that you clean yourself. But there was no alcohol. It wasn't until in the 1980s that people started to really use alcohol, 80s, 90s. And a lot of that became more popular among gay people. I know that because that when I first experienced it, and it was with gay people in an orchard house that was gay, and I was a teenager. And I remember that a lot of people used to charge a lot of money and do all kinds of these cleansings for people who were HIV or at that time the AIDS epidemic. Not saying that it's wrong or right, because to me, whatever works is fine. What I'm saying to you all is, some people say white table is this way, and some people say white table is that way. I tell you that white table has always been white. And when it means white, it means pure, no alcohol, no cigars, just pure white table. Coffee, yes. For the spirits that came down that drank coffee. Now people put cigars, people do this, people do that, and that's fine. Their spirits ask for that. My spirit comes down. She drinks that water on the floor that's filled with perfume, and then she asks for more, and then she fills it with flowers, and she eats all the flowers. But she's not doing it because it's a sideshow. She's doing it to show everyone that she exists. And that is her way. And some spirits do that. They test you. That's fine. I just want you guys to be very careful. I want everyone. True, Cat. Gentry 123. True. Hi and welcome. I want you guys to open your eyes to things that are going on in the world right now. There's too many things happening. too many people that want to get ahead and they don't care who they step on. I'm not one of those people, and I don't want to ever be one of those people. I don't want to take your money and play games with you, but I don't want you to give me money and play with me either. You know? So I want you to be aware that there are a lot of people that you may not even know, that know people that know you, or somebody that you may have that's a friend and say, let me take you to this person so you can get read. But yet they're good friends with that reader and they'll tell them all about you. And all of a sudden when you get read, you're like, oh my God, they knew everything. Even my grandmother. Well, guess what? Yeah, they knew everything because your best friend or your so-called friend told them things about you. Or your sister or your cousin or your aunt. Doesn't matter. Because family, we know, are the first one to F you. So at the end of the day, love those people who love you. And those who don't, just push them aside, because you were not born to be accompanied by fake people. Fake people only try to bring you down and make you feel less than they are. So remember, my friends, my family members out there, or everyone out there that clocks in that I consider you being family, trust and believe. I wouldn't tell you something to hurt your feelings. Learn that voice that's inside of you, that is called the God voice, it doesn't lie. And if something is on your mind and it keeps coming like tiki, 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 constantly in your head, it's because that spirit trying to tell you. And for Santeros, if you don't know how the Santo talks to you, trust and believe when the Santo wants something from you, the Santo becomes annoying. It will keep letting you know. Okay. First example, and this is quickly because we're about to cut off. When I first got initiated, I would go to the store and I would go to the supermarket literally to buy myself food. But then when I would come out of the supermarket, I had a pineapple for Yemaya, I had oranges for Chun, I had green bananas for Chango, I had bananas for Agayu, I had plátanos for Ogun, I had plátanos for the Prenda, I had plátanos for you name it. Okay, I had pomegranates for Chango, I had pomegranates for the door. I mean, there was nothing that I wouldn't buy. So $100 and something later, I go home and I'm thinking that, oh, wow, I bought food, and I look and none of it is for me. None of it. So when the Santo wants something, they will give you the money. And you know what? And I never bitched and I never complained. To this day, I buy my Orishas flowers. I make sure that they have fruit. I make sure that my spirit guides have everything that they need every morning, coffee, whatever. And you know what? I don't give my spirit guides rum. So I make sure that my spirit guides have everything and my Santos have everything. And I've never, ever asked them, do you need this? I give it from my heart. And it's never a bother. Because why? Because I'm loyal. Because they chose me. I didn't choose them. They chose me. And because they chose me, I walk forward. I don't wait until 5 years. I didn't wait till 5 years to get crowned, even though I didn't want to get crowned. I was told I needed to be crowned. Chango said, I will do this. You don't have to spend nothing. I will give you everything. You're going to do this 3 months, this 3 months, and 3 months you're going to get crowned. Exactly what he said happened. So you have to believe in something when they know something that you don't know and everything works out. So my friends, do not become jumpers. Do not believe everything you're told. And I send you light and love. May you have a blessed night. Namaste. I love you with all my heart and soul. Again, light and love. And I hope I wasn't kind of retarded looking all over the place. I'm trying to look at this little light as I talk to you. And I hope that today was informative. I just want you guys to always be safe. So again, light and love, peace and light.